So once you've logged into the Practice Lab platform, let's have a look at how you navigate the portal and how you connect to a particular title, and let's get some basic user configuration understanding across to you guys. So as you can see, if you've bought access to the full library, you will be presented with the labs in different technology bundles. So we have a Cisco bundle and all the titles related to that technology, CompTIA, Microsoft, and VMware, and then a custom ethical hacker lab. So depending on the status of your course, you'll see a tracking mechanism which is just related to whether your course is not started, in progress, or complete. And I'll show you how those statuses change as we work our way through it. In this example, let's have a look at one of our Microsoft courses to give you an understanding of what that would look like. So let's click on the link, 7410, Installing and Configuring Windows Server 2012. You can see currently it's in a not started state. Once I click on it, I'm now taken into that particular title. Now, if we just go back to the course list just briefly, you'll see that my status has changed from not started to in progress. Whether you're accessing a Microsoft, a Cisco course, or a CompTIA course, the structure is always the same. So right at the top of the screen, we'll give you a brief introduction to what the Practice Lab covers and the topics that you'll be working in, followed by a number of modules. And each one of these small sections is what we refer to as module. Now, the courses range in modules between 15 to 20, depending on the complexity of the subject. And again, each of the modules has a tracking status alongside that. So as we work our way down, we can start at any point. There's no direct link between the modules. You can actually start at the topic that you feel is most relevant to you in this particular session. So let's have a look at create storage pools by using diskette closures. It's a matter of just clicking on the link. Now, before we go into that, let me just give you a little context around how we build these modules. So in the same way our courseware is developed, we actually look at the exam certification objectives, and from there we'll go and write practical examples or exercises to support the learning of those particular objectives. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to recreate examples of some of the stuff that's more theoretical based. That is where your courseware comes into its own. You know, that gives you the understanding and the background of why certain topics are as they are, and you take that information and bring it into the Practice Lab. We can only cover the elements where you can actually do things within the operating system. So if we have a look at this particular module, we click on the link, and now we're taken into the lab itself. So let's give you a little bit more context before we start working on things on how to set up your view to get the best possible performance and user experience out of it. So the lab itself is broken up into two elements. We have the course content on the right-hand side, and then the servers, the real servers that you'll be working on, located on the left-hand side. But before we go into any detail, let's have a look at a few things that you can do to sort your view out to make sure that you're getting the best possible experience. Right at the top of the page, you're presented with a settings icon. This is where you go and change the different layouts and statuses. You can put in your display name, email address, but one of the key pieces is to change your resolution. So by clicking on bigger or smaller, you'll see in the background there's a cookie cutter layout showing you how your resolution would be presented on the page. Once you get to the screen that is relevant for your monitor resolution, click Save, and then that layout will always be presented to you going forward. Some of the other little features that you can have on within the settings menu is collapsing the left panel. So if you're on a screen that is a little bit smaller and you're struggling for real estate, you can use this toggle either from the settings menu or on the left-hand corner just to give you a little more real estate so you can see both the content and the console window in the same view. Now let's have a look at each of the components that make up the Practice Lab. So on the right-hand side here, the content viewer is where the information for this particular lab is hosted. So